Hello everybody, PlanetWalls here, coming to you with round 3 of the first qualifier tournament of Classic League 2012-13. We're playing the same deck as we were before. I'm going to be playing first, though this hand's pretty poor, I must say. Let's see what our options are here. 2, 3, okay, so I'm just counting artifacts in my head. This hand's pretty slow. I would need to draw another land very quickly. If I did, I could draw Birthing Pod, but it's pretty likely that he would be able to wasteland it. So he wished us good luck. I'll wish him the same. Real quick, this is his deck list. We can refer to it later. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys look at that. You can pause the video if you want, and I will go back to the match. I will be taking a mulligan here just because he's running 5 lands that can destroy my Ancient Tomb, and I don't really have any way to follow that up if that does in fact happen. So we're going to mull. This hand I think is much better. Even if he can kill something, I at least have a first turn play in Heap Doll, which isn't very exciting. Letting him know that I'm having fun. So we'll go ahead and get started. It's pretty unfortunate we can't get a first turn Lodestone Golem out. It might be pretty bad for us, especially if he can counter it, but we do have the chance to duplicate, targeting one of his creatures if he gets a Dark Confidant out. Again, not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's something. So I fully expect to lose this match. I think I just got by the skin of my teeth in the previous matches, and this one it would indeed be shocking to me if I could pull it out. So he's got 2 dazes, and daze can counter any of my cards if I've just got workshops out, which is pretty unfortunate. However, this Birthing Pod I could get to resolve in theory. First things first, I'm going to be attacking. So the question is, do I play a Birthing Pod or do I play a Lodestone Golem? I don't think I play the duplicant, even though I know it would resolve. So he's got dazes and forces that can counter whatever I toss out there. What I'm trying to figure out is what's more valuable, Birthing Pod or Lodestone Golem. My theory right now is that because he's going to be on his turn 2, I think resolving the Lodestone Golem is more valuable, and I think he'll be scared off if I play Birthing Pod. So even though I can't activate it, so what I'm going to do now is try to cast the Birthing Pod to see what happens. If it resolves, all the better. And as soon as we draw a land, we'll start Birthing Podding all sorts of things. Okay, so he forced it, which is good, because it wasn't going to do much for us right then. I'm going to go ahead and play another land for the sole reason that, well, because if he Stone Rains something with a Wasteland or a Strip Mine, I need to be able to cast something next turn, especially if I draw another land. Okay, so he's going to end a turn Brainstorm. Means he's probably looking for land. I don't know that for sure. Not sure why I didn't Brainstorm before casting Force of Will. Maybe to look for a better card to pitch. I guess Mental Misstep's one of the best cards he could pitch. So now he's sure that he's in an okay position. One thing that's good to know is that Heap Doll can be sacrificed to remove a Snapcaster Mage target. Not optimal, but it's something. Okay, so we have Dark Confidant. I think what I'm going to try and do on my turn is duplicate that rather than Lodestone Golem. Okay, now that we have another land, maybe I want to try something different. The reason for trying something different would be because I could resolve a duplicate or Lodestone Golem through a daze now. He's already spent 1 Force Will. He could very well have another, but I think this is the turn that I really want to get something down. So the question is, do I want to get down duplicate, prevent him from drawing cards, or do I want to force a Lodestone Golem through? Lodestone Golem is one of the best cards in the deck. First things first, though, we're going to be attacking, because if he blocks, it answers our question for us. So let's talk about this. He's got 4 cards in hand. I think that Lodestone Golem is a better card to have out. His green mana sources include 3 tropical islands, misty rainforests, and deltas, and tarns to be able to find them. So that's a bunch of cards in his deck. He could do that and then find mana to cast basically an Ancient Grudge off of Volk Island or Nature's Claim. He's also got Lightning Bolts, which could all kill our Lodestone Golem with some ease. But he doesn't have red right now. So I'm going to take the chance and try to resolve a Lodestone Golem. And it does resolve. That's pretty good for us, I think. So we're going to go ahead and pass the turn. He could very well play a Mountain, Lightning Bolt it, or kill it through any other means, but at least it, well, now he's got the red source. So if he has the Lightning Bolt, he'll definitely be killing Lodestone Golem this turn. Maybe duplicating the Dark Confidant would have been the right play. Letting him draw this many cards might be mistaken. Yeah, he's definitely going to get Ancient Grudged or Lightning Bolted. Ancient Grudge. Okay. So now would be the time to draw something good. Well, that's pretty good, actually, all things considered. I just don't have a way to sack it right now, which is unfortunate. So we'll need to draw something like that later. So let's go ahead and try to duplicate his Dark Confidant. Oh, he's going to force it. Okay. So this is going to create problems for us as he accrues card advantage with his Dark Confidant. At this point in the game, there's no reason... Ooh, that's pretty good. We know he's got a Force of Will, and he just had to take 5 for it. Again, it's going to be hard to beat him down at this point, because he's stuck at 9 life. And he's going to have ways to keep his Dark Confidant from killing him, especially if he drops something like top. We really need to draw something off the top for a deck in order to stay in the game, actually. After sideboarding this matchup, I think becomes even harder. He brings in more artifact removal, including Kurkul's Recall. And that's going to be hard for us to deal with. Maybe playing the duplicant first would have been ideal. He would have been able to kill it, but he wouldn't have gotten the extra card, which could have made all the difference there. And killing it isn't actually that big of a deal. I mean, he could have also had that Force of Will, but he could have also just drawn the Force of Will, so it's hard to say. Right now I know I feel worse because he has a Force of Will in his hand. So I take it he won't be attacking. Okay. Okay, Soul Ring is pretty poor right now. Doesn't do much of anything. I might actually leave it in my hand because I don't foresee needing so much mana in one turn that I regret not casting it. We're going to go ahead and attack with both of these. The Mirror Retriever at this point I'm pretty sure is immune to destruction. Yeah, so I think at this point I just go ahead and pass the turn. What we want to draw is Birthing Pod or Salvage Titan at this point. Or, I guess a Mox Opal. Though we're a little bit far away from casting Zealous Conscripts. It would be funny if we won a game with basically a standard playable card. He just drew a Dark Confidant again. That won't be seeing play because I'm pretty sure he would die. Okay, so we're going to take damage. Well, what we have to watch out here for our Snapcaster Mages, I think. The Heap Doll obviously takes care of one activation of some spell. I guess at this point he's thinking about Ancient Grudging something, but the fact is we can sacrifice the Heap Doll at any point to remove the Ancient Grudge from his graveyard. And when we do that, he only can target the Mirror Retriever with the Ancient Grudge, right now anyway. And so I would love that, actually. He's going to go ahead and cast the other Dark Confidant. He's got a Force of Will in hand. If he pops a Scalding Tarn, he goes to pretty low life. So I'm going to go ahead, take my turn. Okay, we drew a Frogmite. I think that's actually really good right now. The question is, do I play that before combat. I could even play a Soul Ring and then play the Frogmite. That would give him something else to target with Ancient Grudge, though. And we might want to get back our Birthing Pod, etc. So let's say I attack with both these guys. It becomes harder then to cast the Frogmite. So that would... Let's see, how much would it cost if I lost these two to play the Frogmite, the Soul Ring, and the Birthing Pod? We have 8 available. It would be 9 total with the Soul Ring. He's got a Force of Will in his hand. So it would be 3 for the Frogmite, or for the Birthing Pod. And then the Frogmite at that point only costs 2. And then it takes 1 to activate. So as long as I use my mana carefully to cast artifacts from Mishra's Workshop, then I should be okay. If he blocks the Heaped Owl with the Dark Confidant, I think I sack it to exile the Ancient Grudge. Because he can't actually afford to take very much damage at this point, which is kind of funny. Okay. So let's see if he uses it to kill the Mirror Retriever. It also taps him out a little bit. Okay, so he didn't allow the Mirror Retriever to land. I'm sorry, the Mirror Retriever to die. He goes to 4, and this is going to be sort of a humorous turn now. I'm going to drop the rest, I believe, of my hand. Classic is a funny... It's a funny environment. So his Force of Will, if he activated it, he cast it with its alternate cost. It would put him at 3. If he blows the Scalding Tarn, it puts him at 2, and he's got 2 Confident activations. So I guess what I hope is that his Confidents kill him this turn, and that we can finish him off with our creatures. Okay, so he's gonna kill one with an Ancient Grudge. That's not too shocking. We don't have any way to interact with that at this point. It sends our life total up, which is actually good. Now let's see what happens here. Okay, so he takes 1, goes to 3. Then he takes another 1 and goes to 2. This makes the Force of Will and the Scalding Tarn unusable together unless he blows it for mana. It also means if we attack him with the Mirror Retriever, either he chooses to let us have an artifact back. Okay. Or he loses his land, more or less. He's got a lot of cards in hand. He could win this race, though. So let's see what happens here. Okay, we'll take 4. There's Chris sending us a friendly message. I think he probably knew we were recording, which makes it better. Okay, if we play that, we lose our City of Traders, worth noting. I definitely attack with this Mirror Retriever. I don't care how much damage I'm going to be taking on my turn. I don't think he can afford to take the 1. Yeah, so it's going to trade with the Delver, which is great. So we're going to return an artifact now. And I think what we want to return is, I think, Lodestone Golem. He could Snapcast a Nature's Claim. That would make that cost all 5, and then he would have to blow one of his lands. So I also have the option of looking for, like, Duplicant, for instance, and removing his Delver. And maybe that allows me to live a little bit longer, but only gives me a 1/1. Then, 1/1's almost lethal at this point. He does have the Force Will, but then that would put him at 1 life. So what I think I am going to do is look for the Lodestone Golem. And if he forces it, that means he goes to 1. And then I can blow up one of his lands, which I think is good. Okay, so we will force that. Go to 1 life. We're going to kill the Trop Island to screw him out of green for now. And it looks like we took game 1 due to Dark Confidant damage. Okay. So let's look at our sideboard and see what we want to bring in here. And let's look at his deck. And classically, we get to see everybody's decks. That's part of the game. The question is, will he bring in Grafdigger's Cage? They make my, well, they make the entire Birthing Pod strategy seem pretty bad. And they're not really easy to eliminate in my list. I don't think he'd bring in Ley Lines, and certainly not Yixla Jailers, unless he just wanted 2-1s rather. I think he brings in Flux, Recall, and Trigon Predators. I think he probably cuts Dismember, though it does kill Lodestone Golem. Sower of Temptation isn't that exciting either. I think what I cut, even though it's indestructible except by creature blocking, I don't think I keep the why can't I think what it's called? Guy's Revenge in the deck. I think that goes. Elshnorn is just better. Frost Titan might actually be better than Guy's Revenge. I do think I bring in both other Lodestone Golems, even though they're easy to kill. I also think do I bring in Thorns? Thorns make a lot of his spells worse. But I think like I have more trouble with Hurkyl's Recall and Trigon Predator. I don't think it does enough, especially on the draw. There's also Elder Scale Worm, which is kind of funny. I think it's probably really hard for him to kill. He has to kill with an Edict. Or with a Dismember, and he might even be cutting some of those. It's a non-artifact. So I think that's kind of funny. There's also Jitte. In my deck, the Revokers aren't that great. They probably name... it's interesting. I could actually name one of my own artifacts, and then the Energy Flux ability wouldn't activate on it. That's something worth noting, actually. But there's Jitte. There's then Energy Flux. That's about it. I just might want them as 2-1s, but I think I can afford to at least cut one. Again, Elshnorn stays in. Precursor Golem, I think, goes. I don't think I should even have that in the deck, to be honest. Tyrant actually seems fine in this matchup, but I'm curious to try the Elder Scale Worm. There's also Fleshbag. I don't think he's very good right now. Tormod's Crypt can disrupt his graveyard, but that's not the most exciting thing in the world. And then there's Stomp Howler. I think I'd rather be able to kill a land. So those aren't very exciting sideboard decisions, and I might regret not bringing in Tyrant instead of Elder Scale Worm. Nah, he ended up with a lot of lands in play that game, so let's submit like this and see what happens. This hand's bad, and I'm definitely going to mulligan. So we're waiting for him to figure out. He thinks our deck is pretty strong. I actually think there's something strong about it too, but I think it's like Workshop. Yeah, I mean, that might be why it's strong right now, because he doesn't really know what's going to happen. Yeah, it's true. Okay, so he's telling me he doesn't know what half the cards in our deck do, which is kind of humorous. I do think that we're in some trouble this game, especially if he lands an early Grafdigger's Cage. He does keep his hand. We're going to mulligan this. This hand is not very strong, especially because of the lack of mana, but I do think I'm going to keep it because going to 5, I think, is pretty bad, and I think that at least the Revoker might be able to take advantage of his deck in some ways. If you look at his list, he actually doesn't have a lot of 0-mana artifacts that most Classic lists will have, mainly because I don't think they... Like Soul Ring, for instance, adds 2 colorless, so does Mana Crypt. He doesn't have much to do with colorless. So I'll probably name a top if Revoker comes down early. Oh, that's interesting. We do actually have the option to play an Opal. I think I play it now because the Vault will be untapped. And then I have the option of paying for days if that's what happens to me. Okay. So that's all I'm going to do this turn, unfortunately, which isn't very exciting. I also have the option of strip mining his land, but I think I'm going to need to use the strip mine. he reveals a Brainstorm, and now his insect is going to be attacking. I have a feeling that Strip Mine is going to hit me after combat. If he waits, if I get to do something with a land, I think that's good for me. So I think what I do here is do I play the Strip Mine? If I play the Workshop, I've got 4 in the pool. And then I can play Lodestone Golem. Probably doesn't resolve. If I can land a Junk Driver or a Retriever or a Revoker, then I can use Mox Opal unless he kills the Vault. But if he did that, I think I'd feel pretty good if the Workshop lived. I might also want to keep the Workshop around for later, just in case. Maybe what I do is I play Strip Mine and Strip Mine his Strip Mine. If he taps it, it's probably not the case. Maybe just forcing through a Lodestone Golem would be best, though I don't know if it actually makes it. And then I think I'm screwed in mana. Getting the Junk Driver down is much better than the Lodestone Golem, just because, than the Retriever, just because it can block the Insectile Aberration. So yeah, what I'm going to do, I think, is go ahead and play the Strip Mine, play Revoker, and I think he lets that hit play. I do have to worry about Energy Flux. I don't know how I'm going to deal with that. I could name Phyrexian Revoker itself, in order that Energy Flux didn't do anything, or I could even name Vault. No, I can't name a land. So he's considering countering this, it looks like. That, to me, says that he might have one of the relevant spells in his hand, whether it be Jitte or Sensei's Divining Top. Which does he have? I think I would have played Divining Top before Insectile Aberration. Maybe I wouldn't have in his deck, though. I'm going to go ahead and name... Why would he have not played the Jitte that turn, though? Yeah, I think he would have. And so for that reason, I'm going to name Divining Top. So now my Mox Opal's active. I don't think it'll be that way for long. That's okay. So he Brainstorms. I guess what that probably means is that he's putting a top back on his 2 cards down on his deck. This game is not looking good for us. If I didn't think YouTube would catch me singing This Is the End by The Doors, or The End, I guess, not This Is the End, even though I would probably be singing that right now, or at least making an attempt. Okay. So we're racing against the clock, and our deck actually doesn't do well against damage because we have to play Ancient Tomb, Birthing Pot, etc. But at least we haven't gotten blown out by anything extreme. Maybe Hurkyl's Recall come down here, though. Okay, there's a Frogmite. So we don't know which of his hate options he could have in his hand. If he has Hurkyl's Recall, I could lose the game if I try to play a Frogmite and then Strip Mine is Strip Mine. He Strip Mines Vault of Whispers, for instance. So that would be unfortunate. I think what I try to do, this could be wrong, is after attacking, note that he didn't cast anything with, or I'm sorry, he didn't play another land, even though he Brainstormed. So this costs 1 right now. If I can get a Junk Diver into play, this only costs 0. There's also the Lodestone Golem. So what I have the option of doing is playing the Workshop. He'll almost certainly Strip Mine it. That might be okay. Then I take out all his lands. So I'm going to play the Workshop and tap it. And then tap this. That gives me 4. I wonder if casting the Junk Diver is better. Probably not. I think I play this for now. And I can play the Retriever and the Frogmite. Okay, it lived. So let's go ahead and cast this. And I think maybe keeping up Strip Mine is better than... I think maybe that's better than playing a Retriever. I think so. So what I'm going to do now, before he gets to take his turn, is destroy his Volcanic Island. So now he's going to kill our Workshop. That's okay. No, he didn't. Well, that's great. So maybe you should have done whatever he's doing now before the Lodestone Golem hit, though I'm not sure of that. Okay, he gets to kill it. Yeah, I guess he's got a decent amount of removal in there. So now our Workshop's going to go away, and then we need to find another land to play Junk Diver. At least he's farther away from Energy Flux now. If he draws a land, I think that's bad for us. But anything can happen in Classic, man. Maybe he won't draw land. Okay, so he's not going to kill Workshop, I guess, because he needs his mana base. That sort of makes sense to me. I think I attacked with both these guys before combat. He can kill Workshop if he wants. I think that's actually okay. Let's put him at 10. Right now, I think we're actually losing the race unless I can chump with something. So the question is, like, is Grim Monolith worth it? I think because it pays for itself with Energy Flux, it probably is. So I can cast this and then tap the other lands to cast a Junk Diver. He's not going to daze it. And that's funny because that's flying. So we'll keep this untapped instead of playing the Mirror Retriever. Not sure if that's right. If I draw a Salvage Titan, it probably meant it was wrong. But I definitely block here, especially if he doesn't play a land, because that forces him, I think, to kill Mishra's Factory so I don't replay Lodestone Golem. Okay, he doesn't attack. We draw an Ancient Tomb, so we have even more mana now, which is great. If I do attack with Junk Diver, he blocks, has Junk Diver die, and then I can recast the Lodestone Golem. Not sure if that's a good enough effect, because the Insectile Aberration trades with it. He would be at 6, though. He'd get an attack in on me. But if he forces it, I might be in trouble. I might want to keep the Junk Diver there for to prevent damage, basically. He also has the option of just not blocking and then going to 5. And I would rather keep him from attacking, I think. So I think this is right, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Because putting him at 5 is much better than putting him at 6. Okay, so we play the Mirror Retriever there because it basically helps out our clock. Gives us 6 damage to put on the field. And I think if he doesn't have anything this turn, he definitely has to chump with his Insectile Aberration. He says, so painful. I understand, he's mana screwed, and this kind of thing sucks. It happens even in Classic. You keep a hand with a Brainstorm, you think you're going to find something. I'm not saying that that's a misplay, I'm saying when you dig a few cards deeper... Oh man, he's discarding. Oh, I give him a smiley face. Didn't want to be a dick. Okay, so, I mean, he's being a gentleman, and that's much appreciated. Oh, there's Chris being an ass, for lack of a better way of putting it. I hope he watches this and hears me say that. This is a funny turn, because he's going to go to 1 here. And he's going to have to block the Revoker, I think. Probably not the Frogmite. And then go to 2. And he loses his Insect. Yeah. So, I'd say things are looking good for us. Do we have the ability to actually play this Acidic Slime? If we draw a Salvage Titan, we do. And the funny reason for that is that we can activate Mox Opal on a turn twice. We'll reveal our hand too. Oh, wow. Okay, so... Energy Fluxes. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and cut the video here as I figure out how to do that. How do I do that? Sorry, new software. Not responding, eh? Let's try this.